Have you ever heard about someone who just didn't wake up one morning? Maybe a neighbor, maybe even a friend. They were fine the night before, laughing, watching TV, doing their crossword puzzle, and then gone. Just like that. It's heartbreaking. It's frightening. And it's far more common than you might think. Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States suffers a stroke. Every 3.5 minutes, someone dies from one. And if you're over 60, that risk climbs steeply. But here's the twist that might just make you sit up a little straighter. What if I told you that something in your kitchen, yes, your very own fruit bowl, could help lower that risk by up to 80%? Not a new pill, not a pricey supplement, just real, natural food. Fruits you already know, maybe already love, that are quietly fighting for your life every single day. That sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But science is catching up to what nature's been showing us all along. And today, we're going to walk through the fruits that don't just taste good. They protect. The ones that can help keep your blood flowing, your brain sharp, and your heart strong. Because when it comes to stroke prevention, the most powerful step might not be in a doctor's office. It might just be in your kitchen. So let's begin this journey, one fruit at a time. Now, before we dive deeper, I'd love to hear from you. Do you already include fruit in your daily meals? If so, type a quick 1 in the comments. If this idea of using fruit to protect your brain is brand new to you, just drop a 0. It's a simple way for us to know where you're starting, and to show others that they're not alone on this journey. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to Golden Wellness 365. We share easy-to-follow, science-backed health tips, especially for those of us navigating life beyond 60. Because your best years still deserve your best health. This could be the video that sparks a change. Not just for you, but for someone you love. So let's keep going. Let's start with something small. Something you've probably eaten dozens of times without even knowing just how powerful it is. Blueberries. They're not flashy. They're not exotic. But these tiny blue gems might just be one of the most powerful fruits for protecting your brain and your blood vessels. You've likely heard that blueberries are full of antioxidants. But here's what most people miss. Blueberries are rich in a special group of antioxidants called anthocyanins. These are what give them their deep blue color. But more importantly, they help keep your blood vessels flexible and your circulation smooth. That's key when it comes to preventing stroke. Here's where it gets exciting. A long-term study published in the journal Circulation followed over 93,000 women for 18 years. It found that those who consumed more anthocyanin-rich berries like blueberries had a 32% lower risk of heart attack. And when we zoom in on stroke risk, the numbers are still impressive. Just 1 cup of blueberries a day has been linked to about a 13% drop in your risk of stroke or heart attack. That's not just a statistic. That's a second chance. That's a walk you still get to take, a conversation you don't miss, a life that keeps going, and it doesn't stop there. Another study from the University of Cincinnati found that older adults who drank wild blueberry juice daily for 12 weeks had significantly better blood flow to the brain. That's not just good for stroke prevention. It also supports memory, clarity, and sharper thinking. Think about it. Instead of reaching for a donut or a sugary snack, what if you grabbed a handful of blueberries? You're not just eating, you're reinforcing your body's defenses. They're easy to add. Toss them on cereal, Blend them into a smoothie. Eat them straight from the bowl. No peeling, no prep, just simple, powerful protection. 1 cup a day. That's it. So, the next time you open your fridge, ask yourself, are my blueberries in there? Let's move from blue to bright and sunny. Because the next fruit on our list is one you probably already have in your kitchen. Oranges. Most of us think of oranges as the go-to when we feel a cold coming on. But what if I told you that an orange a day could do far more than boost your immunity? It could actually help protect you from a stroke. Oranges are rich in vitamin C. Yes, but they also contain a lesser-known compound called hesperidin. This natural plant chemical works deep inside your body to calm inflammation, relax your arteries, and support healthy blood pressure. That's a powerful trio when we're talking stroke prevention. And here's where the science comes in. The Nurses' Health Study, which followed nearly 70,000 women over 14 years, found that those who regularly consumed citrus fruits, like oranges and grapefruits, had a 19% lower risk of ischemic stroke. That's the most common type of stroke, where blood flow to the brain is blocked. That means nearly 1 in 5 strokes could potentially be prevented, just by making citrus part of your routine. And there's more. Oranges also help improve cholesterol balance, especially by reducing LDL, the kind that clogs arteries and increases stroke risk. Think about that for a moment. Instead of reaching for sugary orange-flavored drinks, what if you chose a real orange? Or fresh squeezed juice with no added sugar? Instead of pouring a glass of soda, you could be pouring a line of defense. Squeeze it in the morning. Slice it into a salad. Enjoy it as a midday snack. Simple, familiar, but far more powerful than it looks. So the next time you peel an orange, remember, it's not just sweet and juicy. It might be one of your best defenses against a silent threat. Now, let's talk about one of the most ordinary fruits on the planet, the humble banana. No slicing, no juicing, just peel and eat. But don't let its simplicity fool you. This fruit is doing some serious work behind the scenes. Bananas are packed with potassium, one of the most important minerals for heart health. Why? Because potassium helps your blood vessels relax. It helps your heart pump more efficiently. And most importantly, it keeps your blood pressure in check. And we know that high blood pressure is one of the biggest risk factors for stroke. The National Institutes of Health has shown that increasing your potassium intake, while cutting back on sodium, can lower stroke risk by up to 21%. That's not just good news, that's empowering. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Bananas aren't just high in potassium. They're also naturally low in sodium. That makes them a perfect combo for your arteries. Plus, they're rich in vitamin B6, which helps maintain healthy nerve function, and fiber, which supports good cholesterol and blood sugar control, both of which affect stroke risk over time. So the next time you're standing in your kitchen looking for a snack, here's the question. Do you want something that simply fills you up? Or something that quietly protects your heart and brain? Instead of a salty bag of chips, what if you reached for a banana? Simple, satisfying, and silently powerful. Your fruit bowl isn't just a collection of snacks. It's becoming your stroke shield. One bite at a time. Let's go from soft and mellow to bright and tangy. Kiwi, that little fuzzy fruit that often hides in the corner of the fruit tray, quietly waiting its turn. But here's the surprise. Kiwi is one of the most powerful fruits you can eat for stroke prevention. It's loaded with vitamin C, more, in fact, than an orange. Just one medium kiwi gives you over 70% of your daily vitamin C needs. And that matters, because vitamin C doesn't just boost immunity. It helps reduce inflammation throughout your body, especially in your blood vessels. And chronic inflammation, as we know, is a silent contributor to high blood pressure and vessel damage. But kiwi doesn't stop there. It's also rich in fiber, polyphenols, and a unique enzyme called actinidin, which helps support digestion and reduces oxidative stress, the kind of stress that wears down your cells and contributes to aging-related diseases. And here's the kicker. A study from the University of Oslo found that eating just 2 to 3 kiwis a day significantly reduced platelet aggregation. That's the tendency for your blood to clot too easily. The same study also showed a measurable drop in blood pressure over time. That's big news, because when your blood flows more freely and your pressure stays in check, you're reducing your risk of a clot forming. And that's how strokes happen. So the next time you're planning your breakfast or looking for a midday boost, ask yourself, why settle for something processed or bland when a few slices of kiwi could be helping your brain and your heart? Add it to a smoothie, layer it on top of your yogurt, or just cut one open and scoop it with a spoon. It's quick, it's refreshing, and it might be doing far more for your health than you ever imagined. Now let's head off the beaten path for a moment. You may not find this next fruit in every supermarket, but if you do, don't walk past it. Soursop, also known as graviola, is an exotic green fruit with a spiky shell and soft white flesh. And hidden beneath its tropical flavor is a powerhouse of health benefits, especially for your circulation and your brain. Soursop is rich in 2 minerals that matter deeply as we age: potassium and magnesium. You've heard about potassium before. It helps regulate blood pressure. But magnesium? That's your secret weapon for relaxing blood vessels and improving overall blood flow. Together, they reduce strain on your heart, help blood move more freely, and lower your risk of clots. But here's what really sets soursop apart. It's a natural anti-inflammatory force. This fruit contains powerful antioxidants, especially a group called acetogenins. These compounds have shown promising results in early studies for reducing inflammation inside blood vessels and protecting the brain from oxidative stress. Why does that matter? Because chronic inflammation and oxidative damage are 2 of the most silent but dangerous drivers of stroke risk, especially for older adults. And there's more. A study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology found that soursop extract improved blood vessel function in lab models, helping those vessels stay more elastic and responsive. Plus, it brings in fiber, supporting healthy cholesterol levels and blood sugar control, both of which are tied to stroke risk. So, what can you do with this odd-looking fruit? If you find it fresh, scoop out the white pulp and enjoy it chilled, or add the frozen pulp to a smoothie. Just be mindful. Soursop is strong. A little goes a long way. Think of it like nature's concentrated formula. Instead of skipping over the unfamiliar, maybe it's time to try something new. Something that might quietly protect your brain. That fruit bowl of yours? It's turning into a natural pharmacy. And soursop deserves a spot. Let's talk about a fruit that you've probably used 1,000 times, but maybe never thought of as medicine. Lemons. You squeeze them into your water. You drizzle them over fish. You zest them onto salads. But did you know that this bright, tangy fruit could help protect your brain, especially while you sleep? Lemons are rich in vitamin C, which we already know helps reduce inflammation. But what's especially interesting is their high content of citric acid. And citric acid plays a surprisingly important role in stroke prevention. Here's why. It helps prevent calcium buildup in your arteries, a process that can lead to hardening of the vessels and dangerous blockages. By keeping those pathways smooth and clear, blood flows more freely to your brain. And there's something else. Lemons naturally support blood thinning, not in a harsh medical way, but in a gentle, steady way. That can reduce the risk of clots forming, especially at night. Think about that. So many strokes happen early in the morning, during sleep, when blood flow slows and pressure rises. But if you end your day with warm lemon water, you may be doing more than just staying hydrated. You might be giving your heart and brain a little extra help while you rest, and the benefits go deeper. Lemons support the liver, a key player in filtering out toxins and calming systemic inflammation. When your liver works better, your vessels stay calmer. And calm blood vessels are safe blood vessels. Instead of just thinking of lemon as a garnish, what if you thought of it as part of your nightly routine? Start your morning with it. End your evening with it. Add a splash to your salad dressing, or a squeeze into your water bottle. A little lemon might just keep the pressure off your heart. Now, here's a fruit that's often mistaken for a savory snack. Olives. You might think of them as something you toss onto a pizza, or mix into a salad. But behind that briny flavor is a fruit with serious stroke-fighting power. Olives are rich in monounsaturated fats, especially oleic acid. This kind of fat isn't harmful. In fact, it helps lower bad LDL cholesterol and raise the good HDL kind. That creates a cleaner environment inside your arteries and helps prevent dangerous plaque from building up. And better arteries mean smoother blood flow and a much lower risk of clot-related strokes. But olives bring more to the table than just healthy fats. They're loaded with antioxidants, including vitamin E, and a group of powerful compounds called polyphenols, like hydroxytyrosol and oleuropein. These help calm inflammation and protect your blood vessels from oxidative stress, which becomes more damaging as we age. Here's a powerful statistic. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that older adults who followed a Mediterranean diet rich in olive oil and olives reduced their risk of stroke by nearly 30%. That's huge. And it wasn't because they added a supplement. It wasn't because they went low-fat. It was because they embraced the right fats, like the ones found in olives. Instead of fearing fat altogether, what if we simply chose smarter sources instead of processed spreads and fried snacks? What if we added olives to our salads, or snacked on a few with whole grain crackers? Just a small handful a few times a week could be your brain's new best friend. So next time you open the fridge and see that jar of olives, don't just walk past it. Open it, enjoy it, and know you're giving your blood vessels a gift. Now, let's talk about a drink. Light, refreshing, and often overlooked. Coconut water? You might think of it as something trendy or tropical. But this simple beverage holds some surprising benefits for stroke prevention, especially for those of us over 60. Coconut water is naturally rich in electrolytes, particularly potassium and magnesium. These minerals are critical for keeping your blood pressure in check and your heart rhythm steady. But here's where it gets interesting. When your electrolytes are balanced, your blood vessels stay relaxed. That means better circulation, less strain on your heart, and a reduced chance of clot formation. And according to a study published in the West Indian Medical Journal, drinking coconut water significantly lowered systolic blood pressure in people with hypertension. That's the top number on your blood pressure reading, the one we really want to keep under control. But there's more. Coconut water also helps reduce something called blood viscosity. In simpler terms, it makes your blood less thick, especially important during sleep, when your circulation naturally slows down and the risk of clots rises. That's why strokes often strike early in the morning. So instead of ending your evening with a sugary beverage, or nothing at all, what if you sipped on a small glass of unsweetened coconut water? You're not just staying hydrated. You're keeping your system fluid, your pressure steady, and your vessels calm through the night. And let's not forget the bonus. Coconut water contains cytokinins. These are natural plant hormones with antioxidant and anti-aging properties, helping to protect tissues from wear and tear. So, next time you're reaching for a nighttime drink, consider this. Instead of tea that might keep you awake, or soda that spikes your sugar, what if you chose coconut water? Light, simple, and quietly powerful. So now that we've covered all these powerful fruits, what does it mean for you? It means your fruit bowl just became your medicine cabinet. You don't need to memorize every nutrient. You don't need to count every calorie. You simply need to make one smart choice at a time. Blueberries that protect your vessels, oranges that ease your pressure, bananas that calm your heart, kiwi that keeps your blood from sticking, soursop that fights inflammation, lemons that clear your flow, olives that clean your arteries, and coconut water that keeps everything moving while you rest, all working quietly behind the scenes. Instead of relying only on prescriptions, what if we saw these foods as our first line of defense? What if stroke prevention didn't start in the emergency room, but in the produce aisle? You don't have to overhaul your diet overnight. Just start with one. Add a banana to breakfast. Sip coconut water before bed. Swap a sweet for blueberries in the afternoon. Simple steps, every day. That's how lasting change begins. And the best part? These foods don't just protect your brain. They support your heart, your energy, even your mood. It's all connected. So take a breath, look at your plate, and ask yourself, is it feeding your future or just filling your hunger? If this video helped you feel more in control of your health, just type a 1 in the comments. And if you're already building your own fruit pharmacy at home, we'd love to know what you're using. Share your favorites. Let's learn from each other. And don't forget to subscribe to Golden Wellness 365. Because every week, we bring you science-backed tips that could quietly protect your heart, your brain, and your independence. Sometimes the biggest changes start with the smallest bites. And if you found this video helpful, here's something to look forward to. Our next episode will explore the flip side. Fruits that could actually increase your risk of stroke. You might be surprised, so hit that bell, stay tuned, and remember this: your best health isn't behind you. It's right here in your hands, one choice at a time.